Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Junebug Rancho. Today we're going to talk about two of the most incredible voices in rock music ever. I'm talking about Chris Cornell from Soundgarden and Audioslave, and Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. These guys weren't just rock stars. They were legends who basically created the soundtrack for a whole generation. Chris had this powerful 4-octave voice that could go from a haunting whisper to a full-on scream that would just give you chills. He was a pioneer of the whole grunge scene, a true icon. And then you have Chester, whose voice was pure, raw emotion. He could scream with so much pain and then sing with such a soft, beautiful tone. But here's the thing that makes this whole story even more intense. They weren't just colleagues in the music industry. They were actually super, super close friends. One of the most iconic moments was when they sang Hunger Strike by Temple of the Dog together. It was more than just a performance. It felt like you were watching two souls connect through music. Chris was even the godfather to one of Chester's children. It was a real brotherhood, built on mutual respect and a shared understanding of the pressures that come with being famous. This is where things get really heavy. So, on May 18th, 2017, the world got the most shocking news. Chris Cornell was found dead in his hotel room in Detroit, just hours after performing a sold-out Soundgarden show. The official report, the story that was released to the public, was that he had died by suicide. His death was ruled as a hanging, though some say there was a wound on the back of his head that was not listed in the autopsy. The world was just stunned. It didn't make any sense. He had just been on stage, full of life, singing his heart out. But no one seemed more heartbroken than his best friend, Chester Bennington. Chester even performed a beautiful, haunting rendition of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah at Chris's funeral. You could literally feel his pain through the screen. And then, the story takes an even more tragic turn. Just 2 months later, on July 20th, 2017, which would have been Chris Cornell's 53rd birthday, Chester Bennington was also found dead. He was discovered at his home in California. The official cause of death was, again, ruled as a suicide by hanging. Although neither of them left a note, the parallels were just impossible to ignore. The same method, the death of a best friend on what was supposed to be a day of celebration. This is where we go down the rabbit hole. Almost immediately after Chester's death, people online started pointing out the eerie similarities. Fans and online sleuths started digging, and they began connecting dots that the mainstream news wasn't talking about. They started looking into the work both artists were doing outside of music, especially their charity work. And this is where things get really, really dark. A theory began to emerge. The theory suggests that both Chris and Chester were involved in uncovering a massive child trafficking ring that involved some very powerful, high-profile people. It was claimed that through their foundations, they had stumbled upon something huge, something they were not supposed to see. The idea was that they were getting ready to expose these secrets to the world. This theory was fueled by a few specific, unverified clues. Others analyzed the lyrics of their final songs, looking for hidden messages about abuse and exploitation. There were also claims, sourced from anonymous online posts, that Chester was actively gathering evidence and was close to naming names before he died. The narrative was that their deaths weren't suicides at all, but were actually assassinations, staged to look like suicides to silence them forever. So why did this theory get so big? Why do so many people want to believe that there's more to the story? I think a big part of it is that it's just too painful to accept the official story. These were our heroes. They were fighters who had overcome so much in their lives, and their music helped so many of us through our own dark times. It's almost easier to believe they were taken from us by some big, evil force. Instead of dying from a silent illness, they died as martyrs, fighting to protect the innocent. The internet becomes this massive echo chamber where these ideas are shared, built upon, and reinforced, until they feel like the absolute truth to the people inside that bubble. It also says a lot about our trust in institutions. In an age where we're so skeptical of the media and the official stories we're told, it's easy to believe that there's a cover-up. The idea that powerful, wealthy people can get away with horrible things isn't really that far-fetched for a lot of people and seems to still be going on today. Ultimately, while the conspiracy theories are not supported by evidence, they show how deeply people connected with these artists. The intense need to find a different explanation for their deaths is a testament to how much they meant to their fans. We may never know the full truth of the private struggles Chris and Chester faced, but the search for answers shows that their voices, and the impact they had on the world, will never truly be silenced.